A very good morning on behalf of India FinTech Forum. I am Aditya Rajkothari and I have Mr. Damo Sampathkumar, the Chief Product Officer and General Manager of India at Chargeback Gurus. He strongly believes that the secret sauce of a successful product is the interlock between the client, market, sales, technology, and the product management. A very warm welcome to FinTech Leadership Series.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you for this opportunity.
The Chargeback Gurus offer white glove chargeback management and analytics solution that increase customer satisfaction and drive repeat businesses. Chargeback Gurus serves credit card companies, financial institutions, and Fortune 500 companies as a trusted advisor. In order to achieve this success, what had been the key factors?
We have been leading the charge on chargebacks for over 8 years now. We've been a veteran in the industry. And the history is that our founders, Sri and Suresh, have been online merchants themselves. That's where this whole business started, about the pains and challenges which merchants face in the industry. And a first-hand experience of what we have had as hassles and frustrations led the founders to build Chargeback Gurus in the first place, right? It was a real problem we wanted to solve as an organization. We are now 8 years into the industry. We are a tech-enabled services company where we have the right blend of mind and machine. We utilize the best subject matter experts in the payments industry to help our customers. And we have the best FinTech research team on our side to help build the products which help our customers, right? Our combination of this human expertise, the artificial intelligence, and a white glove service, right? What we provide is a white glove service where we provide the high touch to our enterprise clients, large enterprises, to help solve the problem. And biggest of all is our transparency in terms of how we win, what does it take to help our customers recover their lost disputes is what sets us apart, right? And we follow this in our culture of honesty and transparency is something we bring on board, which makes it very easy for the customer to trust and work with us closely, right? And from a product side, because we are a tech-enabled organization, we equally strong on the product side in terms of FPR1, which is our fight, prevent, and recover platform, which is used by our analysts to fight chargebacks. We have VEDA, which is our advanced dispute intelligence platform, which provides one-of-a-kind industry analytics for our clients. Once we win the chargebacks, what happens at the end of the month, during the month, they have a very ringside view of how their business is recovering revenue as well. And when fighting chargebacks for merchants, we utilize custom packages, right? We understand their industry. We work across customers in various sectors, physical goods, digital goods, online subscriptions, all of them. So using our experts, we do custom dispute packages specific to those customers. When you bring a merchant on board as a customer, we work with them to understand their business and their industry. And if it's something we've worked in the last 8 years, it becomes easy for us to bring on board our existing expertise as well. And then we make sure we build a custom package for them so that the success rate and recovery is. So all of this, a blend of all of this is what has made us make our customers successful. So we are successful, right? And core of this, while on one side our customers are important, our people are important. So other side, we ensure we were back to office in April last year, 100%.
Wow.
4 other companies are thinking of bringing to office. And we did a lot of things there to make our employees comfortable and collaborate better. And that's also lead to the success because we are able to keep our employees happy and successful. Our customers are happy, and therefore we continue to lead the charge on chargebacks.
The Chargeback Gurus has announced the launch of RE, which is first predictive analytics engine to prevent first-party abuses in the payment industry. What role will RE play in helping the merchants to mitigate risk?
So that's the question. RE stands for Aridal in Tamil. Aridal means to know and to be aware of, right? When we started thinking about a solution for a problem which is already there in industry, which is first-party misuse, which is where whether there is 3D secure or not, there are some customers who lodge disputes which may not be true, right?
Okay.
So how do you protect our clients, our merchants against such disputes, right? So that's where the idea came from for us, saying that what do we do to prevent this? So there's a capability to predict. And this is a research product we started working on last year. From the time of authorization to fulfillment, right? When you look at a transaction online, there is a window of opportunity we see where we can potentially predict whether a Damo or an Adi have a chance of raising a chargeback based on data points, based on intelligence, based on machine learning algorithm, which we have developed over the last year and a half. And that's something we're working with a couple of customers on a pilot. So essentially, we're saying, well, not only will you help you recover revenues on your chargebacks, we'll go one step ahead. We'll go one step ahead and we will try and predict. And that's where RE came about and the predictive analytics engine. And this is one of its kind in the industry. We launched it last year. We're working with a couple of customers on a pilot. It's a research. Anything in data science requires a lot of time and effort to understand further
I understand.
business of the client. And where it's going to help our customers, it's going to be yet another tool in their arsenal of how do you prevent chargebacks. Or even if the chargeback has occurred or transaction has occurred and the chargeback might happen, how do you manage your clients better? In most cases, there could even be delivery challenges. There could be other challenges on the merchant side. And if you know what the problem is, and it could be a payment challenge. There could be a challenge with the payment method the client used. So if you can figure all of that out using prediction, we're able to better service our clients to service the end customer.
Right. The fight against fraud can easily turn into a game of cat and mouse with fraudsters. In the industry, the standard approach is a reactive one: new threats, new mitigation strategies. In spite of fraud facts that prove otherwise, we still tend to rely on a silver bullet solution. Therefore, which fraud indicators are relevant in the era of emerging technologies?
It's a very difficult question and a difficult problem to solve. Fraud is not something you don't have a silver bullet. That's the first thing we'll have to understand. There's no one single solution which can solve, because people who commit fraud are extremely intelligent. They find ways and means on one side. On the other side, our industry has been so dynamic in the last 5 years in terms of payment methods, whether you take India or the US or Middle East. I've worked across all of these geographies. We are constantly introducing new ways to pay, right? New ways to consume services. And that means that the fraudsters are finding new ways to commit fraud, right? And we have moved to an era of seamless or ubiquitous payments, right? Now in India, since the last 18 months, you can do NFC payments up to say 3,000 or 5,000 rupees, right? So which means that how do you protect yourself? There is convenience, frictionless, which also means that there's a chance. The industry averages about 30 to 20% of a merchant's budget goes into fighting fraud. The merchant has something to fight fraud. The process across the acquiring and issuing value chain, you have various systems at the processor and the gateway, the issuer, and the merchant side. Despite that, you still have fraud. Why? Because there's always ways and means. That's where you go into back to RE, because RE is again a product where you have true fraud prevented by a fraud tool, but then you have friendly fraud. How do you look at that? So in addition to all of this, the best part is you need to have a continuous evolution of ways you fight, right? Because the payment methods are evolving. The transaction today globally is it's a single, right? I could sit here in Chennai, make an order for something in Europe, get it delivered to somebody else in the US. It could be a totally legitimate transaction. I could be gifting a friend in the US, right? But how do you know whether that is true? That I have not skimmed somebody else's card and made this transaction. So that's where we are today. The world has shrunk. Digital payments has brought all of us closer together. We have access to global commerce. We have people sitting in the US wanting to buy products out of India. We have people in India buying products out of anywhere in the world. And we have logistics capable. There are digital services which are consumed by us, whether it's a Figma or a HubSpot or any other SaaS product, we pay for it. So the challenge is going to be there. The products are going to evolve. And that's what makes our life easy and interesting as well, right? More collaboration, more commerce across the globe, which means we need to find the right tool for the right problem. So we'll have to constantly look out for opportunities, assess, and go with what we call as a zero trust, right? You need to constantly look for challenges.
Right.
That's the way we look at it.
Sounds good. The financial services sector continued to be one of the most attract venture capital investments in 2022. despite a general decline in venture capital funding and a shockwave in the crypto market. What is the future of fintech in 2023?
FinTech has been around for a long time, right? It's the word, we call it paytech, FinTech, but technology for payments has been around. That's revolutionized globally the way you withdraw cash. Instead of standing at a bank at a queue, you have ATMs, and then you have mobile payments, and then you have UPI in India, and then you have tokenization. So it's going to constantly evolve the way we do things, right? More convenience, more seamless. But like every sector going through a cycle, I feel that right now we are at a period where there's going to be a reset. It is already happening. And 23 will be a normalization phase where startups with the most business value will sustain and grow, which means the focus has to be on what value as a startup or a technology company or a tech-enabled services company I bring to my end customers, whether it's B2B or B2B2C or B2C, it's about value, right? And
Right.
I think that's what the year is going to be about. It's difficult to predict certainty for what will happen. Embedded payments, right, where payment functionality is integrated into other digital products, right? We talk about social payments, but then you talk about financial services companies and merchants getting together to make seamless payments, whether it's going to be something like buy now, pay later, which is another version of your credits, right? So those kind of things will happen. Ubiquitous payments are already there, right from the way you pay for your food on Swiggy or Grubhub, or you take a cab on Uber or Ola. There is frictionless ubiquitous payments today. So there'll be focus on those areas from a payments business perspective, but also from an end-to-end service perspective, it's about value to our customers, depending on whether it's a business customer or a consumer, right? That's what the focus is going to be on. It's not about hype, it's about business value.
Great. Recently, the Financial Literacy and the Inclusion Survey held by the Reserve Bank of India revealed that the digital banking awareness is at the same level among the urban and rural population all over the country. How can India increase its financial literacy rate in 2023?
So, great question again. It's a leading question because we are, as a country, or even globally, payments have moved from cash to check to cards, phone, to any device which is enabled to connect to the internet, right? That's where we're heading.
Right.
And today in India, because of our financial inclusion, the way we have operated successfully over the last decade, it's available even on feature phones, Aadhaar-enabled payment services, the way cash out can happen at remote villages, for example. Or with UPI, that has changed now, saying you can pay using your UPI ID, which also brings in the fact that financial education and literacy in terms of where is your money? You don't see it, you own it, how do you spend it? People like us in the cities who have the luxury of having gone through various phases of technology over generations have an advantage. We understand it better. But if you're coming from a town or a village where you use your first brush with technology for payments, it's good to have education. It's good for education around how to protect your device or your money, your bank, your account, how the transaction happens. So that is important for us for 23 literacy from that perspective, because you've done the inclusion. How do you make them, educate them in terms of how to protect that as well, how to use it, not to share. And banks and agencies have all, in India particularly, have been constantly training people as well. Phishing emails, train them about it, call them and warn them, educate them. But it has to be a constant, because as we do that, technology is also evolving. Fraudsters are also finding ways to make change. And at Chargeback Gurus, it begins at home for us. We run a financial education program for our employees. We have over 400 people in India, in Chennai, right? Across the board, working across chargebacks, analysts, operators, IT, in technology. So we start with financial education, protection, fraud management, phishing, how to protect their own finances, as well as the company's IP as well. So that's how we operate, right? And we have also been, if you look at Chargeback Gurus, we have been advocates for merchants, right? Even if we don't work with the merchant, we train them and advocate them on how to fight the chargebacks, right? It doesn't matter whether you work with us or not. We put out a lot of IP and knowledge on the internet, Chargeback Gurus. Many of our customers, many of our competition, many of industry leaders in processing, they look at our articles and blogs to learn more about what's happening, right? We have seasonal blogs as well. If you have Christmas, you have Black Friday, you have Diwali, what happens during festive seasons? What kind of chargebacks happen? So I think that's what every organization should endeavor to do, is to educate more, do your bit for the industry and for the people so that they learn more.
Great to hear about it. The fintech ecosystem has been a part of your professional life for over 20 years. How would you advise young graduates looking for employment in India?
My simple answer is learn, right? And take up the role which gives you passion. It'll take you some time to figure out what is your passion and where you have excitement, but learn. Constantly ask questions. I learn constantly from my team members and my management staff across the board. Every interaction you do, whether it's with an analyst or with the CEO, is an opportunity to learn. That's been my mantra personally, and that's helped me constantly educate myself and keep up to date. So a simple answer is learn, ask questions, be curious, and be willing to learn. Right? It's not about how many hours you spend on studying or working in a place. It's about what you do in that time. Quality matters more than quantity, right? So
Right.
that would be my one single advice to people getting into the industry, getting into work. Right? You should have the mindset of somebody who's embracing challenges, who's looking at ideas, open to collaborate. And I think there's a right time with all of us get back into office. We've been back into office for a year and a half now, right? It's the right time to collaborate. That's where you learn. And we have at Chargeback Gurus, we have an intern to gurus program, and that's been to tap into people in the education sector who are looking for projects, give them a taste of professional work. Many of them have gone through their education during the COVID times, right? Now they're looking into getting into full-time roles. And as an intern, they get to experience how a typical professional environment is, how you collaborate, how you operate, how you learn. I think a lot of companies today in our sector do a lot of internship programs, which is great. I think that's the way to go, give them the taste. And then once they finish their graduation or masters, they have an opportunity to know how they can succeed in life.
I'm sure that the youth will definitely benefit from your advice. I thank Mr. Damo Sampathkumar, the Chief Product Officer and General Manager of India at Chargeback Gurus, to share his valuable insights on fraud management and his professional journey. Have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you.